flag as he goes into Lodge Corner. The Gaelic Kawasaki retakes the lead. Ben Currie takes his 6th win of the season.
Family sacrifices have been huge. You know, we've done everything to go down this path, and it's my choice. And I would honestly say I would do it all again. Knowing what I know now, there's no doubt about it.
I will always only ever see it as a mom. You know, keep him safe, I hope he's safe.
He was 17 when he went to the UK. Since he was 9 years old, I was always pushing, wanting to do stuff, wanting to race motocross all around Australia with him, and I was so excited. In actual fact, I still remember discussing him going overseas, and I was the one saying no.
I'm so far away from ever making it. You know, this is just pure hard work and passion for what I do. My only goal this season is to become the champion. It's as simple as that. I'm gonna eat broccoli, rice,
160 grams.
and some capsicum, or British people would say peppers. Peppers, did you know that? It's weird, isn't it? Peppers, it's capsicum. Hi, I'm Ben Currie, and I'm 24 years old. I live in Glengarry, Victoria, and I race motorbikes professionally.
Like I say, this is what separates the men from the boys. That's what I say. Second, third, fourth and fifth place, they eat mum's chicken pasta. First place, they eat broccoli and rice every night. Every damn night.
My dad actually met my mum over in Germany, so I was born in Germany. I was a German baby, and we moved back to Australia at a young age, and I sort of grew up as a kid in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne.
BJ was very active. He had to be involved in everything. Every sport known to mankind, he had to play it. And once motorbikes come along, that was our life, pretty much.
We were actually in Germany for Christmas, and you know, we rang Dean up, was at home with the dogs, and he said, oh, we found this motorbike, you know, like we want to buy a motorbike with the neighbors together, so they can share a bike. And we're like, oh, okay. So Benjamin is all excited, you know, he wanted to get home to see this motorbike.
Friends of ours, together with us, we built a little holiday house down at Coronet Bay. There was a quarry down there, and we bought the kids. There was 3 kids. We bought them a little PW80 together, and that's how it all started. We started riding at the quarry, and it was meant to be fun, and we ended up here.
And then next thing, it wouldn't do anymore, so they each had to have their own bike. So, and before we knew it, it was completely into motocross.
Basically, all the memories I can think of starting to race motorbikes come from Nunawading and growing up as a nipper, racing and getting my first trophy and my first race.
Yeah, they joined the Nunawading motorcycle club and started racing a little bit, like sort of club events, just a little bit for fun. And of course that didn't do after a while anymore. Now we had to compete, had to race, and then it sort of snowballed from there.
We started off with the PW80, and he started to outgrow that within weeks pretty much. It just kept progressing and progressing and progressing. He started racing when he was 9. I think by the age of something like 12 or 13, we probably went through 10 motorbikes and done very well at motocross as a junior. Done a lot of racing all around Australia.
You know, got a bigger bike, the bikes grew with him, got faster, and you know, more work was done on him and stuff like that. From there on it went sort of Australia-wide.
I really just wanted to play sport, whether it was football, cricket or racing motorbikes. I wanted to play sport. However, I knew that my best shot was racing motorbikes, because that's what I did with my whole life. So, but nothing was really moving forward apart from racing at a high level and being, you know, quite all right at it. There was nothing really showing me that I'm going to make lots of money from racing motorbikes and this is how I'm going to fuel my living.
So he decided, no, you know what, I don't want to be coming second all the time. Like, I think it's time to change. And at that point, Robbie said, why don't you come for a track day to Broadford?
He got offered to test a bike down in Broadford in Victoria. Robbie Phillis, he's a well-known superbike rider, and his son used to race motocross with Ben.
At first, you know, I'd barely watched, you know, MotoGP, World Superbikes. I barely watched it on TV. Like, I actually thought it was boring because I was a motocross kid, and I did it because it was fun. And it was probably some of the best fun I've ever had on two wheels initially. I just thought, wow, this is amazing. It's so much fun, but that's all it was.
Robbie would always say to Dean, it looks like he would have a natural talent on a motorbike. And Dean is like, yeah, you know, because we never thought Ben would give up motocross. Next thing, Benjamin hopped on Robbie's motorbike and off he went, and nobody could believe it.
I still remember the first lap he'd done around Broadford road racing circuit, where he'd come past and he just looked across at me. I could see the smile from ear to ear, and I thought, oh, here we go again.
All of a sudden, we're giving up, we're selling everything, we're going into road racing. I'm like, okay.
I switched from dirt bikes to tarmac very late, a bit of a crossroad in my career where, like I said, it wasn't really developing. It was more just a little bit of fun to start off with, and I took to it, you know, like really, really quickly. And I started to do some really phenomenal lap times at certain tracks and being really competitive with some of the best guys in the country.
For me, it was only just, you know, keep him safe. Like, as long as he stays on, I don't care. And then next thing, people saw this talent in him.
And then sort of one day we were at home here and we got a phone call to say, you know, we've got this opportunity for you. Maybe you want to come overseas and start racing over there.
I think it was the first time in our history of racing since he was 9 years old that I was always pushing, wanting to do stuff, wanting to race motocross all around Australia with him, and I was so excited. In actual fact, I still remember discussing him going overseas, and I was the one saying no. And the sliding door, which is just over there, my wife, I was on the phone to the UK speaking to a team over there. My wife popped her head out the window and said to him, you may as well let him go now and get it out of his system.
Straight away, there was 20 reasons why we shouldn't have moved overseas at 17 years old, and there was 0 reasons why we should.
It was such a quick decision. Almost, I'm glad we didn't have much time to think about it, because as much as I wanted him to go, you know, at the same time I didn't want him to go because I didn't want him to be away from me. But then I thought, you know, I can't really be a hypocrite, can I? I went to the other side of the world, and so I need to let him go, you know. And yeah, but in a sense, that's basically how it started, by someone saying, come on, you can do this, off you go. And he went.
He started here in Australia on the 600 and progressed over there on the 600 in the super stock class in England. The first year was difficult, obviously learning. I think the hardest thing for him was learning to live away from mum and dad. At 17 especially, looking after himself, living with strange people, living in a strange country, had to fend for himself.
And looking back at it, like, I wouldn't even do it now. Like, it was so dumb to even think that we went overseas with not even a year worth of experience on the tarmac, to go over there, live in Europe, and go and compete in the most fierce and competitive domestic championship in the world. And at that time, luckily for me, I didn't know that, and I didn't realise what I was doing, so I was very naive.
It progressed pretty fast. The first year, he didn't do so great on the bike. The second year improved very fast.
QBSD have put a really good bike underneath me this weekend. I managed to put it on 29th on the grid, and times have improved in morning warm-up so far, so I'm really looking forward to the race.
17, 18, sort of 19, you know, with really no life experience whatsoever, living in a foreign country, you know, you really do need someone to tell you what's right and what's wrong, because like I was young and dumb. I mean, I was straight out of school that I really didn't take seriously, didn't care about. You know, I was just a little brat of a kid that, you know, just wanted to race motorbikes and have fun all the time. And that's what I did. I went over there and just had fun all the time. And I had to learn for myself the hard way. And I was able to luckily catch it right at the right time. Otherwise we would have run out of money and I would be back home, you know, now God knows what I'll be doing. But as soon as I made the changes in my life, and it started basic first, I didn't make all the changes in one hit, it was step by step. And as soon as I started to make changes,
Look at Ben Currie, he was having an absolute ball out there. He decided that he needed to open up as big a lead as possible.
I was at the front because I had the ability and I had the talent to be able to do it. That's what got me there in the first place. But eventually your talent and ability runs out, and then it becomes hard work, and who works the hardest?
By the third year, I think he finished, from memory, third in the championship, which was fantastic.
Jack Kennedy constantly tries to hunt down the gearlink Kawasaki, and Ben Currie constantly thwarts him.
When I moved with Kawasaki, it was off the back of a couple of years on a Yamaha, and finishing, you know, runners-up in a Superstock 600 championship in the UK, and I moved with the Kawasaki team and raced Supersport, you know, with my current team that I'm riding for this season. I made some of the best relationships, you know, that I'll probably ever make. We pretty much dominated one season along with another rider. Me and him were first and second every race and miles ahead of everyone. You know, I think we were on the podium every, you know, like 19 races or some crazy thing like that out of 24. The last 3 seasons was second in the championship, third in the championship, second in the championship. You know, so over 50% of my career over there at that point was in the top 3 of the British Championship.